We're good.
All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. 2021 is wrecking in effect in more ways than one, but we are here tonight. First Titan Trivia match of the year, as it turns out. This is what we would call a number one contenders match to see who faces the unlikely champion. That's this stupid guy right here in your face. Coming up in a title contending match. But for now, what was supposed to be a three-way is now down to a two-way. Some people prefer it that way, but that's how it's going to be here tonight. We have Chris Diaz versus Antonio the Assassin Chavez. We'll go ahead and do our brief interviews, and then we will do our introduction. So starting out first with Chris Diaz. Chris, you were once part of a triple threat match for a title in this league. You did not win that particular one, but you are back here trying to be the number one contender. How are you feeling this evening? I think you're muted, Chris. Now I can't hear you.
And we're off to a great start.
Yeah.
Hello. There we go.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, right? Thanks, Dad. Thanks, Dad. Yeah, thanks, Dad, for calling. Yeah. Sorry about that. Thanks, Dad, for calling me in the middle of the stream.
Yeah. Chris, same question, though. How are you feeling after getting so close to having the title? You're now back for the number one contender. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling good. Antonio, phenomenal player. This to be a good game, and either win or lose, I'm here to have fun. I go this year
what would be the most fun outcome for tonight, though, in your mind?
If it comes close between the two of us, so we're not like it evens. I'd rather lose on a good match than lose on when I lose a lot of points and lose on a bad match. So to me, it's just having fun. Antonio's a great player. I lose against him, it'd be a great player to lose again. I win. In my first game, it's my first match of the year, so I'm starting out the best I can this year. So
hopefully this will do a lot to knock the rust off coming from 2020 to 2021.
Yeah.
But Chris, lovely to have you for this evening. This will switch over to our other competitor here on my right, your left, Antonio the Assassin Chavez. Antonio, I understand it's been a little bit rough for you coming in here. I know you're having your flu game, as you would call it. Do you think you will be able to muster enough energy to answer questions today?
Should be fine. I mean, I actually did a match last night, and I was surprisingly okay with that. It was particularly mostly all Christopher Nolan stuff, and I'm getting better. It's just that, it doesn't really help. But otherwise, listen, it's like it's for fun. Win or lose, it's just to me for fun. Chris is a good player, so I appreciate the props he gives to me, and I give him props as well. So, hey, we can keep it at least interesting. I will have done my job. So,
do you feel aptly prepared? What would be the best outcome for you tonight?
I don't know if you really could prepare for this, but I guess I honestly, maybe because I feel like crap right now, I kind of hope for it to be a blowout. Again, I'm talking shit about Chris, but like if it's a blowout, then maybe it'll be over soon, and then I can go right to bed. Because honestly, I'm going right to bed after this is done. So
that is a first. No one has ever hoped for the blowout on the other side. So you're making history here, sir. But thank you for braving everything that's going on with you and coming here tonight. We appreciate it. That's going to take us to our introductions and start of round one. So introducing here to our match first, coming in with a record of 1-1, I believe. Up at the top, we have Chris Diaz. And to my right, coming in also, I believe, with a record of 1-1. I could be incorrect on that, but it's 2021, so maybe records could be thrown out. We have my brother in arms. I don't want to say a brother from another mother. I don't think that's right. But either way, we have Antonio the Assassin Chavez. Gentlemen, to your corners as I go ahead and I introduce the rules for round one. If you've ever played a trivia match, which I know firsthand that both of you have, you know that round one is the pen and paper or the whiteboard or the writing and board implement round. 8 different questions, 8 different movie categories. So I will express a question. Everybody will write down their answer. After 15 seconds, I'll ask for hands up and hands on screen, although we prefer that your hands are on screen at all times. If you get the question correct, you get a point. If you get it wrong, you don't lose a point. There's no stealing in this round. If anybody gets all 8 questions correct, then they are opted to go ahead and get a bonus question. So with those rules out of the way, Chris Diaz, are you ready?
Yes, I am.
Antonio the Assassin Chavez, are you ready?
No, but let's do it.
Not ready, but let's do it. The immortal words. So let's go ahead and get it on. Ding, ding, ding. All right. Our first question is
Ding, 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 ding.
Our first question is going to come in the category of animated movies. I want you to go ahead and please name one of the ugly stepsisters from Disney's Cinderella. So I just need one of the names of the 2 ugly stepsisters. I have a stepsister. I would.
Rob, you know what
I would qualify. No, I'm just kidding. I would say that it was not the same as a Cinderella situation. Maybe it's pretty close. But that being said, 5, 4, 3, 2.
I've heard this question so many times too.
Well, fortunately, you're not competing. So pens up, everybody. We'll go ahead and we'll start with Chris first.
Following one of my favorite Candy Disney movies, despite direct-to-video, Anastasia.
And Antonio?
With the same, Anastasia.
Anastasia is correct. The other one's name is Drizella, which is very, very strange, but it is what it is. So with that being said, we'll go ahead. We'll browsing start 1 and 1, and this will take us to our second question, which is going to be in the category of actors and actresses. Who was the first African American to win the Academy Award for Best Actor? A lot of history. Really curious what the 2021 Oscars are going to look like. I'm sure a lot of people are.
I hope I spell his name right.
We'll see what happens. We get their spelling, doesn't matter, as long as it's pretty close. But that being said,
I don't know if spelling got the right name.
Yeah, we just want to make sure you get the right name. So
that's a pretty confusing name too.
4, 3, goes 1, pens down. We'll go to Antonio first.
Sidney Poitier.
And Chris?
Yes, that's Sidney Poitier as well.
And you both would be correct. So everybody is off to a flying start out of the gates. We are at 2-2. And this will take us into our third question, which is actually an Oscars question. So over the course of history, there have been 7 films that are recognized as horror films that competed for the Best Picture Oscar. Name 2 of them.
That's a good question.
Yep, well, sometimes I mine out some good...
Hey, can you hear?
What'd you say, Chris?
Can you hear okay?
It's just, it's cutting in and out a little.
Can you hear me okay?
There we go.
Okay.
You thought this was a good question. I appreciate that. Thank you for your support.
Cat, you need to stop.
And I will challenge it.
Sorry, my cat's trying
to my second answer.
All right, so we'll go ahead and do our countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're back up top to Chris. Chris, what is your answer?
The Silence of the Lamb and Get Out.
Antonio?
I put Psycho in Silence of the Lambs.
Chris is correct. Silence of the Lambs, Get Out. Psycho was not nominated. It was either The Exorcist, Jaws, Silence of the Lambs, Sixth Sense, Black Swan, Get Out, or Parasite. So that Chris takes the lead here, 3-2, and that will take us into our fourth question, which
Yeah, Psycho was nominated for Best Director, not Best Picture.
Which one? Are you talking about Psycho? Yeah, that is correct.
Yeah, Parasite interesting. I don't consider it a horror movie, but that's different.
Yeah.
I didn't either, and then I heard it the other day, so I'm going with it now. So that's going to take us into our fourth question, which is a question about directors. Quite simply, who directed Schindler's List? I'm a big fan of the pops of color in a black and white movie.
Love this movie.
Sin City. You know how it is. I think it's a nice aesthetic choice. But I'm going to be the only one who thinks that, because I'm the one who's talking here. So with that being said, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pens down. Antonio?
Steven Spielberg.
And Chris?
Steven Spielberg.
All right, so with that, with our score update, we have Chris still working on a perfect round here at 4. Antonio close behind with 3. And that will go ahead and take us into our fifth question, which will be in the category of 80s movies. In The Little Mermaid, what does Ariel call the fork in her collection of human objects? Yep, I said 80s movie. Everybody probably thought I was working on some kind of movie, but as it turns out, I flipped it. But this object does have a specific name that they say in the movie.
It was said first by another character, but it's like...
Yeah. Yes. Character who didn't know what the hell was going on, but that's okay. We still love him still. So with that being said, go to count 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pens down. And gentlemen, I forgot to mention, but you both do have 4 repeats and a challenge if you want. But that's pens down. We'll go back up to Chris. Chris, what is your answer?
It's said by Scott first, Dinglehopper.
Antonio?
Nothing. I'm actually kind of proud. I didn't know that.
Well, Dinglehopper is correct. So with that, Chris jumps out to a 2-point lead. That's going to go ahead and take us into our sixth question, which is in the category of Star Wars. In the original trilogy, meaning episodes 4, 5, and 6, who is the only non-Jedi to use a lightsaber?
I love you for this question, man.
Well, that's what I'm here to do, to cater to you, my friend. Destiny's Child did have that right when they. But that's
repeat.
All right. So, Chris, that is your first repeat. So again, in the category of Star Wars, in the original trilogy, meaning episodes 4, 5, and 6, who is the only non-Jedi to use a lightsaber? Whereas George Lucas would say a laser sword. Because, he was old and crotchety when he was in his 30s.
In the original trilogy, right?
In the original trilogy, yes.
Yeah, I almost put down the sequel trilogy by accident.
No, don't do that.
Yeah.
Because it will be wrong, and I'll smite you.
I might got this wrong, but hey, it's almost a good perfect round.
So with that, we'll go ahead into the countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We'll start back with Antonio.
Han Solo.
And Chris.
I say it because he threw it to Luke in Return of the Jedi R2-D2.
The answer we were looking for was Han Solo. Yes. R2.
Oh yeah.
R2 didn't technically use it.
Yeah.
He provided it.
Yeah.
So with that, that's going to take us out of the realm for a perfect round. So we have 2 questions left. We're going to go ahead into question 7, which is in the category of 70s movies. What was Jack Nicholson's character's name in the film One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest?
Oh.
Coming out here with the hard stuff.
I love this movie, but what was his name? We do a poly tie. I'm getting my technicals and movie confused.
All right, I have to give you guys a count. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pens down. Chris, we're starting back with you.
No, I said Jack. I almost put down Jack Shiny, but I know Jack is shiny, so I didn't. But
And Antonio?
Randall McMurphy.
Randall Patrick McMurphy. That's what we were looking for. You didn't have to have the whole thing. If you had McMurphy, is mostly what I was looking for. That is correct. So with that, Antonio ties. That takes us into our 8th and final question here, which is going to be in the category of Indiana Jones. Quite simply, or maybe not quite simply, but this is the question. How old was Indiana Jones when his mother died?
So we watched this series a while ago. What was it?
Everybody loves Indiana Jones. It was just announced that Bethesda's creating a new Indiana Jones video game. We're all excited about that. I hope it's really old Indiana Jones. I haven't read about it, so my hope is that he's just really old, like 80 years old. If not, then it's just a crime against all of us. But with that, thinking of timing and thinking about ages, I do need your guys' age answer in 4, 3,
I am back, brother.
2, 1. Pens down. Antonio.
9.
And Chris.
I said 15.
You both sandwiched it almost equally. The answer is 12.
Well, where did you say that? Last Crusade?
I believe so, yes. I believe that's when they said. So with that, that's going to take us to the end of round 1.
Hey, Chris, make sure we see your board at all times.
You mean for hands? I got you. Okay. So with that, our rousing first round with lots of twists and turns have come to an end. We go into the round 2 tied, 5-5. And this is going to take us into our round 2, which both of you gentlemen are very well aware of. Round 2 is our category betting round. So I have 3 categories here, given with a letter A, B, and C. Whoever is in the lead, which in this case, since you're both tied, we'll do some sort of randomized thing to figure out who's going to have the choice to decide on the category. When you choose between A, B, and C, it will connect to a category of an actor or a director. Once I give you what that category is, you can decide to keep it, or you can go back to the well and pick another letter. But whatever you choose the second time will be the one that is decided upon. Once you know what the category is, you both are going to get 3 questions in that category. Before we start asking the questions, I'm going to ask for a bet from both of you. It can be anywhere from 0 to 5. In this case, you both have 5 points, so you could bet the maximum. If you were feeling very froggy, that's up to you. If you get all 3 questions right in the round, you get to accrue the points that you bet. If you get 2 right, you get to keep your points. If you get anything less than 2, you lose the points that you bet. So it is a whiteboard, pen and paper round, so you're both getting the same questions, writing it down, and then showing it after 15 seconds. No stealing. But again, it is a round of strategy. So with that being said, as I mentioned, you both are tied. So I'm going to do quite simply, I will ask Chris and Antonio, I'm thinking of a number from 1 to 20. I'm going to ask you both to write down a number, and whoever is closest, not without going over, that will be the person who gets to decide between A, B, and C. So go ahead and write down a number. I'll give you guys 5 seconds. That's 1 to 20. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, Chris, go ahead and
15.
Antonio.
The number of your quarterback, 7.
No, I'm mad at him right now. So the answer I was actually thinking of was 17. So Chris, you're going to get a chance to pick between 8.
Number 12 all the way. Number 12 all the way, baby.
Yeah, that's a thing.
A.
Okay, A is in the category of Humphrey Bogart. Do you want to keep that, or do you want to go to B or C?
B.
All right. B is in the category of Francis Ford Coppola. All right. So go ahead and, boys, give me your bets from 0 to 5, and then we'll go ahead and I will ask these particular questions.
The question is, do they know for a couple of shit?
All right, so I'll give you guys a countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Since I got Chris's number first, Antonio, I'm going to ask for your bet.
0.
0. Playing the long game. I like it. All right, and Chris, what is your bet?
And much I love the first two Godfather, I have everything all over French. Yeah, I had to go 0.
Oh my God, it's just stats only round. Isn't that what we love? So basically what the...
Hey, hold on. Antonio's taking the advice I had and betting 0.
For everybody out there, just so you know, we're
move.
going into round 3 tied.
Because I only seen the first two Godfather entered and Dracula. So I have everything all over French and Dracula movie.
All right. Well, with that being said...
You haven't seen Apocalypse Now?
On my list, I need a good couple of hours to sit down and watch it.
All right. Well, that being said, we'll do these 3 questions, even though they're only for stats, with the full knowledge that we're going into round 3 time. But with that being said, all right, your first question, gentlemen, in the realm of Francis Ford Coppola. Before returning home and marrying Kay, who was Michael betrothed to before she was killed in a car bombing intended for him in The Godfather?
Thank God I did at that point.
Oh, Chris has already exclaimed, glad I didn't bet points. That's what I love to hear as a question writer, I'll tell you what.
Yeah, I love The Godfather, just like this name is just like trying to remember the name.
Well, it's a name, we know what The Godfather is all about, so you can pick around a certain nationality potentially, if that's what you want to do. But either way, we're going to go ahead into the count. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pens down. Chris, what is your response?
Francesca? I should have remembered the name.
And Antonio?
I just got Sophia.
You're both incorrect. The answer we're looking for is Apollonia. If you like Prince, you could have got that answer.
I call her Apollo. But it doesn't matter. It's conversation.
Well, you know, we're doing this for fun, basically, so this is all just about people gaining knowledge, I guess. So with that being said, we'll go into your second of 3 questions here in Francis Ford Coppola. What affliction does Robin Williams suffer from that causes him to age 4 times faster than normal in 1996's Jack?
This is why there's some French
because Jack is a Francis Ford Coppola film. Isn't that wonderful?
He's right.
Yes, he did.
Yep. Yes, he did.
Really? I didn't know that.
It's fantastic.
What was it?
You know, Robin Williams, Jennifer Lopez.
Hand by hand.
Just wonderful. But while we think about how odd it is that one of the greatest directors of our time directed this movie, we'll go into our countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hands down. Antonio.
How Francis turned into the 90s, I don't know.
Did having J-Lo as your teacher?
No. Good. Unless it's a dance instructor, I understand. But Chris?
No, I didn't get it. I did what answer I wanted to put, but with 2 offense, I didn't like it.
All right. The answer we were looking for, gentlemen, is Werner's syndrome. That's what it was called, Werner's syndrome. So if we were at this point, I would have told you it feels bad that you both lost points, but since you both are playing the long game, we're just having a little bit of good old time here. So that's going to take us to our third and final question here for Francis Ford Coppola. What 1974 Francis Ford Coppola film centers around a surveillance expert who experiences a crisis of conscience when the couple he is spying on is going to be murdered.
Why have really just got me maybe?
Chris, do you wish you stuck with Humphrey Bogart now?
No, because the only Humphrey Bogart movie I've seen is Casablanca. No.
Well, there could have been a Casablanca question in there. You didn't know.
You just want to know what the hell C was.
Yeah, try and try to think what C was.
I mean, at least you've seen one of them. I know people who haven't seen any of them. So,
in the words of Brittany Murphy, I'll never tell.
oh God.
All right, so with that, we'll go ahead into our countdown. 5, 4, Grace, 2, Uno, hands down. Chris, your response to the third question.
That's a real insight. Yes, and no.
Interestingly enough, if I did multiple choice, that would have been an answer. And Antonio.
I didn't have energy to make up a joke. I had nothing.
The answer, gentlemen, is the conversation. The conversation.
I just heard that mentioned a few days ago. God damn it.
Yep. Well, it didn't matter because it didn't cost you anything. So with that, mercifully, guys, we are finished with round 2. As everybody had already known, as it was for Bowden, we are still tied because nobody bet any points. Even if they had both bet points, they would just have less than they already did. But either way, we're going into round 3, 5-5. This is the third and final round. Again, if you've ever played trivia, you know that this is the random number category round. So everybody's going to get, there's both competitors here are going to pick numbers from 1 to 12. Each number is going to correlate to a category with a question in that category. Depending on if they selected the number first, second, or third, the question will be a 2, 3, or 5-point question, respectively. One person will answer the 2, and then depending on if scores change, we'll go to the next person, and we'll do that so on and so forth until we have someone who is in the lead by the end of the 3 questions. If not, then we do have to go to a sudden death overtime. Then that's what we have to do. But we don't have to write any of the answers down. You just verbalize since you're both getting different questions. But please try to keep your hands on screen at all times. So again, the score is 5-5. We have Antonio with all his repeats. Chris has 3 of his 4 repeats. And both you gentlemen still have your challenge. So because Chris, in the essence of fairness, and because I don't want to come up with another way to decide how you guys are going to decide who picks numbers first, Antonio, I'm going to give you the option to go ahead and pick your 3 numbers from 1 to 12.
2, 5, and 12.
All right. And Chris, what are your 3 numbers that are not 2, 5, or 12?
9, 4, and 10.
9, 4, and 10?
Yeah.
Okay. So Chris, we'll start with you. If you do get this right, it'll bounce to Antonio. If you get it wrong,
I don't need my points. So.
Yeah, if you get it wrong, I'll still bounce to Antonio just to keep everything in line. But we're going to go ahead into your first question, which is a category 9, which is in the category of Oscars. What was the most recent film Jack Nicholson was nominated for in the category of Best Actor?
Is there something gotta give?
Unfortunately, that is incorrect. The answer we're looking for is About Schmidt.
Oh. I was going to say it was against.
Nope. About Schmidt was a few years after that.
2003, right? 2002.
Yeah, I forgot.
All right, so with that miss, Antonio, we're going to go to you because you're both tied. You chose number 2, which is in the category of sports.
Okay.
What team does Bernie Mac play for in Mr. 3000?
The Milwaukee Brewers.
That is correct. So with that, you're going to go ahead and 8-point lead.
No, he fucking do that.
What'd you say, Chris? You cut in and out again.
He's giving me shit for knowing that.
I said he knew that.
Yeah, it comes up probably once in a while in other
I
trivia.
actually enjoy that movie.
It is what it is. I do enjoy that movie as well. Hence why I asked about it.
I've never I've never seen.
It's not great, but you like it for what it is.
Yeah, exactly. It's not an Oscar-winning movie, but it's freaking hilarious.
It's hilarious. So with that, Antonio takes the lead 7-5. So Chris, we're gonna stick with you until you tie or get the lead. So Chris, your 3-point question in category 4 is in the category of 2000s.
All right.
Who plays Benjamin Gates' grandfather, who tells his grandson the story of the Knights Templar treasure in National Treasure? Who played Benjamin Gates' grandfather in National Treasure? Chris, I'm gonna give you a count. 5.
Is it Christopher Plummer?
Christopher Plummer?
Yeah.
That's correct. So with that, Chris storms into the lead by a point. It is 8-7. So Tone, we're coming back to you.
That was tough because like knocked on Voight and then Christopher Plummer's face he kept popping in my head.
So Antonio, we're gonna go to you, so you can take back the lead. Which in this case, your category number 5 is in the category of the 1970s.
Right.
What film was the only one Gene Wilder and Richard Pryor appeared in together in the 1970s?
I know this. Robert, you just had to ask a question that haunt my memory.
I'm here to foster nostalgia. That's what this is all about. So, Antonio, I'm going to have to give you the count. 5, 4, 3, 2.
Repeat.
All right, that's your first repeat. You got 3 left. Again, in the category of the 1970s. What film was the only one Gene Wilder and Richard Pryor appeared in together in the decade?
We're Haven renewed him.
Gonna have to go ahead and give you that count again, Antonio. 5,
Jeez.
4, 3.
I know it's not right, but Blazing Saddles.
Is this Stir Crazy? That was the answer?
It is not Blazing Saddles. It is not Stir Crazy. The answer we were looking for was Silver Streak.
Oh yeah.
The other ones were in the 80s. That was the only one that was in the 70s. All right, so Antonio, with that miss, that puts you here at the last question in category 12. Situation is if you hit it, it goes back to Chris for his 5-pointer. If you miss it, Chris will be declared the winner, and will face me at some point in the later future for the chance at getting the title. So, Antonio, you chose category 12. That is in the category of yuck yucks, or as other people would say it, comedies.
Ha 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 ha.
No laughing. This is third round stuff. It's serious. So, Antonio, in your category of comedies, in 2019's Booksmart, what is the code word Molly and Amy use to get each other to do what the other wants, no questions asked, and no arguments?
I love this movie.
It was a good match. I never bothered to see this movie. I've been telling myself I should see it. So I'm just going to try to come up with the funniest thing I could come up with. Although, wait, let me get a repeat just in case I could come up with a good guess.
Okay. You still have 2 repeats, so you can really milk this if you want to.
Yeah,
Category 12 in the category of comedies. In 2019's Booksmart, what is the code word Molly and Amy use to get each other to do what the other wants, no questions asked, and no arguments?
Saw this movie twice and see that.
Chris, you really did like this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't rush. It's on my laptop, but I'm not rushing to see it.
It's really good. I
I'm
watched
not saying it's bad. I just,
It's pretty good. I was surprised Olivia Wilde was as good of a director
that's the only reason why I was going to watch it.
as she was. All right, so with that, 5,
Last one. Last
4.
repeat.
You have one more after this.
Oh, okay.
So one more repeat left in the category of comedies. In 2019's Booksmart, what is the code word Molly and Amy use to get each other to do what the other wants? No questions asked, with no arguments.
Just because it's the first one that came to mind. Tampon.
And your winner, the number one contendership, the chance to play for the title, Titan Trivia, Chris Diaz. Chris, do you know what the answer is?
Ooh, that was an interesting game.
Do you know what the answer is, Chris?
No, it's been a while since I've seen it. That's why I'm trying.
The answer we're looking for is Malala.
Malala.
Because they respect Malala as a female empowered, person that they look up to. So
we're trying to remember the line in my head. That was like, what was it?
I do enjoy that movie for Billie Lourd, as Carrie Fisher's daughter.
Oh shit, she was in there.
Yeah, and she's fantastic. She's amazing.
I actually got to meet Beanie Feldstein. Very nice person.
Wow. Look at Chris dropping names and stuff.
I saw her in Hello Dolly and Bob. I got to meet her after the show. Very nice person.
Learning so much here. So with that, the match has been completed. We'll go ahead and do our brief interviews with the winner and the not winner. Antonio, we'll go ahead and we'll start with you actually. As you finish in second place, I always say there are no losers if you intend to compete, especially if you're like Antonio and you're playing under the weather. Antonio, 8-7, real close. You got that first 2-pointer, and then the next two just kind of bit you, and movies I don't think you'd seen. What are your initial thoughts coming off the match about how it went and moving forward in Titan Trivia as you try to contend for a title?
I couldn't hate it. Dude, I could never hate on the quality of the questions, man. So the only thing I was mad about myself about was the whole was it horror best picture? And I was like, I don't know why for some reason I was gonna raise Psycho, but Parasite just to be safe, even though I wasn't sure if Parasite was a horror, but I was like, I thought it was, and I know it was only for best picture. I don't know why I didn't do that. That's the only thing I hate myself about. Everything else, I was like, hey, I couldn't really do any better than I could have. So I don't know, but it was. I thought it was still kept interesting throughout the whole match. It was funny that we both went for 0. So I would have been curious to see what category C would have been. If that would have been a little bit more interesting for both of us.
Yeah.
I'll let you know off stream what it was. But anything that's just sort of brought up as areas that you still want to study and get stronger on as you move forward for your trivia season.
I think what you're telling me subconsciously is I need to watch more 70s movies. So I think I need to start that.
I did ask a few on that, and I'm in the same boat.
Yeah.
So I'm right there with you.
And even obviously even more recent ones, I was like, damn, Booksmart just came out a couple of years ago, and I still haven't seen it, so now I still haven't watched.
Well, Chris and I do recommend it. It is pretty good.
No.
But Antonio, thank you for braving your illness and coming on tonight. We really appreciate it. Playing hurts never fun. I did a classic once when I was in bed the whole day, and I did it because I was like, I don't get into classics as much as I want. But that being said, we really appreciate it. So thank you for coming out tonight. Look forward to seeing you compete more in Titan Trivia. That's going to take us to our winner for this evening, the number one contender, Chris Diaz. Chris, if you could sum up your emotions in 2 words, what would those 2 words be and why?
Shocked and amazed, because I was so nervous that he would get the last question, and then we go 5-pointer, but kind of never seen what my 5-pointer was. Happy he took my number that I would have got originally, because I think I would have got the last one and maybe the 300, but not the second one. But yeah, it did have fun one. Thank God for Christopher Plummer. I never thought I would say that.
Well, I mean, a lot of people said that after he replaced a certain someone. And technically, with the conjunction, you said 3 words. So I knock you some points. I knock you some points, and Antonio actually wins the match because of it.
Antonio did a really good job. They were a close match. I think if Gama C would have been an interesting game to know what category C would have been. And the stalwart seemed to come back to bite me, because I have a back and forth between R2D2 and Han Solo. Which one was it? I'm like,
well,
and Indiana Jones, same thing. But the other point, it was a fair point, something I didn't really know. But the other 2 I shouldn't remember better.
It is what it is. But now that you're the number one contender and you're facing some upstart punk in this league trying to win the title, what are your thoughts, your strategies? Let us in your head so that we can plan against it. No, I'm just kidding. How are you feeling going into
It's
that?
really good. It round two between me and you. Technically, you count me losing against your Jack Hall trivia, and then round three technically for this. But it'd be interesting to see
Mm-hmm.
a little preview in case I manage to get more into Jack Hall trivia for you again in the future. So that'd be interesting.
We like Jack Sparrow and Barbosa. We could be two immortals locked in epic struggle till doomsday and trumpet sound. Who knows? But Chris, thank you so much for coming in tonight. Had it planned one way, but we adapted. We came out and overcome. Yes, just so everybody is aware, thank you, Chris Day. Free for All Championship Week is coming up here shortly, so keep in mind for that. With that, we'll go ahead and we'll get out of here. We'll go around the horn, see where everybody's at, what they have coming up, so you guys can plug. Starting with the Assassin.
Just find me on Facebook at any of the trivia leagues out there. I don't know if you guys have even remembered, but I actually did mention I was going to start a podcast soon. That is actually getting underway very soon. Me and my boy from work are starting that. It's going to be audio at first, then maybe we might do video. Then who knows, maybe I might convince him to actually join me on maybe some of these outings trivia-wise, or maybe even come up with a game or two. So just keep your eyes peeled. It's still very slow, but we got our equipment, and hopefully I can start to plug that soon as well.
Awesome. If you're looking for people who want to appear on it,
Definitely, bro.
Join you if it's something that I know anything about.
Yeah.
So thank you, Antonio. Chris Diaz, where can the good people find you?
You can find me anywhere. I got a few matches coming up to future. Marvel tournaments on soon. Champions Week and Free Fall. and be kind to us. I am essential workers, so be kind to essential workers. We putting your life out there to give you food every day. As someone who works at BJ, please don't get me sick. To anybody living in Connecticut. So that's all I will say. Stay safe, everybody.
Chris, all of us at Titan Trivia, I want to thank you for the job that you do and all essential workers do. And please, everybody, keep following protocols until we get the full mass output of vaccines, so we can kind of fight this thing as new variants make their way into the country. Sorry for the science PSA, but it's happening, so I just want people to be safe. Christopher Day, the man, the myth, the legend. Anything you want to say about what you want to plug?
Man, a few words.
Man, a few words. Like,
What's up?
anything you want to plug or promote beyond what it is we have on the screen?
Well, completely be this piece of crap. Yeah, please go check out my movie Brothers. It's doing really, really well. I really appreciate that. It's definitely a movie. You've never seen it. It's a movie, a very important movie. So please go check that out. Yeah. Outside of that, updates on my movies coming up. On the channel, if you haven't watched them, please go do. We will have a ceremony talking about the 5th year anniversary of The Target, and the phenomenon that movie is coming. That will be up in April. Thank you for Free for All and ship and things like that coming up soon. Mania's in March, so let's get to it.
Chris Day, man, I say man of few words, but a man of many talents and many activities going on. So thank you for that. To wrap up, I am, of course, your host, Robert Casper. You can find me here as the commissioner for the IG division in Titan Trivia. All around the fan leagues. Chris mentioned Marvel tournament coming up in TMG. That's going to be cool. I think we're all competing at that. Me and these competitors. I also have a podcast that I am working to get started with someone from work too. It's weird how the synergy between me and my team partner is the case. I have to replace equipment, so it's taking me much longer because things suck. But once that is more on solid ground, I will promote the hell out of that.
Yeah.
But with that being said, for Chris Day, the man behind the scenes and the guy making it all possible, for Antonio, the Assassin Chavez, for Chris Diaz, our new number one contender, I am Robert Kastner. And just remember, if it's a time of great hardship, just remember you can always do one of these.
Crack open the beer.
Because, we're kicking back, we're living. Have a good Tuesday night, everybody.